The Locked On NFL podcast marches on here. Please subscribe to our new YouTube channel. Got some great content, including this interview with Kevin Oestriecher from Locked On Ravens. He joins us to talk about a big victory as the Ravens kind of hold on, beat the Chicago Bears. Actually, they didn't hold on. They rallied past them 16-13 at Soldier Field. And it was an impressive performance from the backup quarterback. Tyler Huntley had to come in a pinch. That might be the bigger story of this thing, Kevin.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger ones for sure, Bo. And I think, with the whole Lamar Jackson illness situation, this was Jackson's first game missed, whether it be by injury or by non-COVID related illness. So other than COVID and rest days, he's never missed a game due to injury or illness. And you're kind of thinking it's up and down with Jackson this week, or at least last week. He didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday, is back in practice on Friday, talking to the media saying, hey, I'm good. And then Saturday, they had him back to the injury report. Sunday, reports are he's not feeling good. He's inactive. Tyler Huntley, in a pinch you mentioned, comes in all, his first NFL start leads this team to a 16-13 victory. And one of the more impressive parts about it is that game-winning drive he orchestrated really pushed this team to a victory. I mean, it was 5 plays, 72 yards, a minute and 19 seconds right after the Bears hit a really big play for a touchdown. And those are the types of things you want to see out of any quarterback, especially a backup who now that, yes, he's no Lamar Jackson. I think a lot of people aren't Lamar Jackson in this NFL, but you can now trust him in those situations to go out there and at least give you some competent football. And that's what he showed on Sunday.
Devontae Freeman punched in the go-ahead score, the game-winning score. It was not Justin Fields that was leading at the time the Bears passed the Ravens. It was the Red Rifle and Andy Dalton. He had 2 big touchdown passes in the second half. Let me ask you this. In Lamar's absence, I mean, Huntley played well, 26 for 36, 219. He did have a pick. Who stepped up in Lamar's absence to really catapult him to victory?
Yeah, well, outside of Huntley, this was a big Mark Andrews game. Andrews caught 8 of 10 targets, was really involved. Definitely Huntley's security blanket. I think every young quarterback, especially a new one, has to have one of those. And Andrews is one of the best in the business. A big Mark Andrews game there for sure. You also saw other contributions. Sammy Watkins had a couple of really timely plays. Rashad Bateman drew 2 pass interference calls, which was really big in this one. But overall, I mean, it was a group effort. The offensive line didn't play particularly well in this game. We saw a bunch of pressures, a bunch of sacks given up by them. So the running game was okay. Freeman definitely had some nice runs. You mentioned had that go-ahead score. He was that guy for them. Latavius Murray had a couple of runs, but I would say Mark Andrews outside of Huntley was the biggest guy to really step up and lead this team to a win.
This defense continues to kind of give up the big play. Do you see anybody that could step their game up and slow that down in the foreseeable future? They've got the Browns coming up. They've got the Steelers after that. We know what that passing attack looks like. I mean, is it just going to come down to Marlon Humphrey playing a little bit better football going forward?
Yeah, no, it's a team effort. And I think in this game, the Ravens were down Anthony Averett. They were down Jimmy Smith. They had 3 healthy corners active on Sunday. And, for any NFL team, that is very, very thin. And Tavon Young even left this game for a little bit. So they had 2 at one point. And it's just those types of injuries. They're obviously missing Marcus Peters. And in the secondary also, you have Deshaun Elliott, who is out for the year, although he's a safety. But the Ravens passing defense, in the secondary, they have those playmakers like Humphrey and Chuck Clark, but they just haven't been able to put it together. Some people are starting to lean towards, is this a scheme issue with what Don Martindale brings to the table? On that go-ahead touchdown for the Bears, before the go-ahead touchdown for the Ravens, Don Martindale brought all-out pressure, left guys in one-on-one situations, like really young cornerback in Chris Westry, left him on an island. He bites for the double move hard. You don't have a safety back there, so, that's the touchdown. You're done after that. So I think, they'll look back at this. It's obviously, I think, a combination of play calling and execution. I don't think it falls on either or of those areas. I think it's both combined, and so they'll go back to the drawing board. You mentioned they have a really tough stretch here over these last 7 weeks, and they'll have to perform better in the passing defense area if they want to string out some wins.
Regardless, they stay atop the AFC North standings at 7-3. Big game coming against the last place Browns, who are above 500 at 6-5 after squeaking past the Detroit Lions on Sunday. Make sure you're listening to Monday's podcast with Kevin Oestriecher, and of course following on Twitter at KOestriecher34, of course, host of Locked On Ravens. Kevin, thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Bill. It was a blast.